lease renewal, and that passed. That was approved. The second one is poll 10078, and it was in regards to the resolution to approve the 7th chat sale on the bird dog pile, and that was approved as well. The next one was poll 10082. It was for the NIGA, National Indian Gaming Association, annual membership resolution for 2023. The next one's poll 10155, and that was for the deputy court clerk and prosecutor clerk pay ranges. That was completed by our HR department, and REDW was the vendor for the market analysis for that. And another one is poll 10180, and that is for the prosecutor salary range. Again, that was done by market analysis from REDW from our HR department, and that was approved as well.
The next poll is the investment account signatories resolution, and that was to authorize chairman, vice chair, and secretary treasurer as authorized signers of those investment accounts, and it was approved. The next one was a public defender contract for a specific individual that was for a public defender for our Quapaw Nation courts, and that one was approved. The next one was a second opinion for Robert's Rules of Order, basically taking the observations from the 1022-22 Special General Counsel and trying to find ways that it could be more efficient and still comply with Robert's Rules of Order, and that one was approved. The next one is agricultural lease renewals with the BIA, and that one was also approved. Somebody want to take the next few? Or I can keep going. Okay. The next one is for the annual performance report. This is for the 2022 NAHASDA IHBG annual performance report that's required, and that one was approved. The next one is a purchase request for ankle monitors for the Quapaw Nation courts. That one was approved. The next one is a Quapaw Nation master lease agreement. It's actually for real estate rental agreement to standardize those for the few properties that we do own, and that one was approved. The next one is for the 2023 social services guidelines that had to be made available sometime within the month of December before the new calendar year, and that one was approved. Okay. The next one was a purchase request from the Food Sovereignty Program for a metal building that would serve as a wash and pack house for crops as well as for training classroom, and that one was approved. The last one is to evaluated investment advisor options and investment instruments. Those decisions were made, and that one was also approved. That concludes the phone polls.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adopt or accept. Have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries and the polls are approved. Next up is the treasurer's report. Have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries and the treasurer's report is also approved. Next up, the directors and subcommittee reports that were submitted in our BC packets. We have a motion to approve. A second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries and the directors and subcommittee reports that were submitted are approved. Next up is the chairman's report. Just a quick summary on the Bear settlement update. Representative Tom Cole has been named Vice Chair of House Appropriations Committee and Chairman of Transportation, as well as the HUD Subcommittee. But Representative Westerman from Pine Bluff has been named Chairman of the House Natural Resources Committee. This was anticipated. These are both good developments for us because the Natural Resources Committee is the committee in which our bill will go through. The Business Committee plans to meet in Washington, D.C. in mid to late February to make our rounds on Capitol Hill to urge lawmakers for the distribution of the settlement. From now until then, we will be meeting to discuss our bill and the other priorities that we plan to present on behalf of our tribe. For a Quapaw Casino update, this includes casino as well as C-store. The financials are, from my understanding, a month. They run a month behind. That's just kind of how it's reported back to us. But the latest report for the month of November ended with an EBITDA margin of 13.8%, which is a slight decrease from the previous year. It's a result of decreased gaming revenue, which is a result of our economic environment with fewer discretionary funds to our guests in this region. However, Quapaw Casino continues to hold a strong cash balance. Saracen Casino is also experiencing economic headwinds, which impacts guest counts, but overall cash flow remains strong and steady. Our sportsbook revenue has been solid, and including our statewide sportsbook app, Bet Saracen, we continue to outperform against expectation. Our latest numbers show we have a supermajority hold of the market with 71%. EBITDA margin for November held strong and exceeded budgeted by 22.6% and year-to-date EBITDA by 23.1%. These figures were slightly down from last year, but also last year we benefited from the forgiveness of the PPP loan, which totaled about $1.3 million, and gaming revenue increased by 5.9% from the previous year, and our cash balance is also strong there at our Saracen property. In terms of experienced interest expense, there's a $1.5 million in interest expense in November, and if you take it and compare it to last year, the previous years, that was at $3.4 million. So shave that in half roughly for any given month, but the overall interest expense savings has saved $29.4 million compared to the previous year. And I'm going to turn over the mic to Secretary Treasurer so she can talk about a transaction that we did at the latter part of the year, ending December, I believe.
So in September, we were successful, and this is specifically for Saracen. We were successful in executing an interest rate swap. And in a nutshell, what that really means is it protects the casino and the debt that we hold on Saracen in a rising interest rate environment. So if one expects interest rates to rise or to continue to rise, what it basically does is lock in that interest rate so that no matter what kind of interest rate market conditions exist, no matter what the Federal Reserve chooses to do, basically says we can't go above a particular interest rate. So although the underlying debt that was negotiated a little over a year ago was at a floating interest rate based on an index, whatever, it basically protects us from a rising interest rate environment. You know, maybe interest rates come down, and that's okay. But that's what really hedging transactions are expected to do, so that it kind of protects us. You know, if the bad keeps getting worse, it can only get so bad, right? So the good news is in rising interest rate environment, it will save us in terms of the cash flow that we have to pay an interest on that debt. And we're actually, I don't want interest rates to continue to rise, but the reality of it is, considering the amount of debt that's on Saracen that will be paid off in the coming months and years, it does help us mitigate those impacts on changing market conditions. So the entire Saracen executive team, the financial institutions with whom we worked, as well as the business committee, worked very successfully together, and together we're able to execute that transaction. So we're really happy about that, and we're beginning to see basically benefits from that. Okay.
Thank you. And then in terms of development for Saracen, we're awaiting a finalized GMP, which is a guaranteed maximum price contract. And once we sign that, we are set to begin construction on the hotel and convention space. We're comfortable with moving forward. That's dependent on several different factors. One, our cash flow, gaming revenue, as well as our cash reserves. So good things and exciting times ahead for Saracen. As far as downstream, which includes the casino, Eagle Creek, and Q Store, we ended the month of December strong with the most successful New Year's Eve in downstream's history, with slot machine revenue exceeding the previous record by 8.5%. Our total EBITDA margin for the month was 42.2%, which exceeded our budgeted expectation by 7.5%. These figures represent a slight decrease from December 2021, but the previous year was record-breaking, so that was to be expected. The economic conditions of this country, as well as our region, reflects lower guest counts, but inflation data released earlier this month showed signs of improvement, which could cause the Federal Reserve to slow or reverse interest rate increases. Until then, our guests will continue to face the same challenges when it comes to their discretion budgets. Overall debt reduction through September was accelerated by clipping another $7.5 million payment, bringing the total debt eliminated to $117 million in the 13-month period since the restructure closed. And for downstream, also our overall cash balance is sitting very strong. On one final note on my report, the business committee met with Melanie Shawnee and had discussions on what the status of the committee for this year would be, as well as plans for the powwow. And the decision has been made by Melanie, as well as the rest of the committee, to go ahead and carry out those responsibilities in honor of his legacy. So I just wanted to make that announcement as well, make everybody aware of that. And that concludes my chairman's report. And now I'm going to turn it over to Secretary Treasurer for her presentation.
What I wanted to talk about were the raw ARPA survey results. On December the 6th, we had a really, I think, constructive town hall where some ideas were proposed to tribal members around what we should really do with the remaining $10 million of the ARPA money we have available. At that time, there were also some really great ideas generated in the room. That was the purpose of that. One of the outcomes was to basically publish a survey so that not only the individuals in the room on December the 6th, but other tribal members are able to provide their feedback on their top 3 choices. So that survey was open mid-December, and the survey closed out day before yesterday on the 19th. So I wanted to report the raw results. One couple just of notes on that, and it is the BC has not met to review these results together because they came out so quickly. We've also not made any decisions, but I think because of the great feedback that we got on the survey results, it's important for our tribal members to know, what did the survey results look like, right, before anything else is done. Again, no decisions have been made regarding what we're going to do or the timing associated with that. So those are still to come. And there were a couple of different ways that people could provide survey results. One, they could use the electronic survey, and 709 people provided that input. The other alternatives were they could submit their top 3 ideas through email or even by U.S. mail, and 51 people chose to do that. In your packets this morning, and hopefully available on Zoom right now, you can see at least the results from SurveyMonkey. Okay, those are the electronic ones. The one thing I want to say about that is even if we layer on top the results that came in via email or U.S. mail, it doesn't really change the outcomes too terribly much. So I did want to review those numbers with you guys. Now, this is based on the people who responded, not the number of votes cast. Doesn't change anything, but I think it's really important to understand, well, what did, of those 709 people that responded on SurveyMonkey or even the 51 through other means, how did those responses really come out? 95% of the people, and I'm going to go through it in, descending order with the most popular at the top and then kind of break it down from there. The top one was an additional tribal member distribution, 95%. So that's pretty clear. Back behind that was about 23 people responded and saying they wanted to see the $1 million, made available to the food sovereignty program to grow that particular program. And just a little bit below that, at about 20%, was the $250,000 for tiny homes, specifically to service domestic violence victims as emergency shelter. And then a little bit below that was 16% for a youth center, basically an outdoor facility. And then at 14%, $2 million for the housing, to clear the backlog that the housing department has on renovations. I think the next one, I hope I'm not reading this out of order, and then 11% on $2 million for the Ray property 20 home infrastructure. That would be to cover sewer, water, electricity, roads. Okay. And then, excuse me. Sorry, I'm trying to get over a cold. And then just shy of 8%, one of our Quapaw youth made a recommendation on an outdoor basketball facility. I still think it's a great idea, though. And then 5%, up to $0.8 million to Ottawa County Rural Water District 6. Okay, so I think I covered all of it. But again, I wanted you guys to have the benefit of the raw results before anything else is discussed, decided, and then regarding the timing. Okay. Yeah, and what we can do is, Joseph had a really good idea to basically do the combined results and get it out on the tribal website so everybody can see that and have that information available. It's just going to take me a little bit more time to combine all the data and regenerate graphs.
Thank you, Weena. Next up, Eric for the accounting report.
Good morning, everyone. December completed our first quarter of our fiscal year. It's the slowest quarter of the year from a collection standpoint, so don't let these numbers shock you. In December, we received $2.5 million to our general fund, bringing our total for the year to $5.7 million. Actual expenses for December were $3 million, bringing our total for the year to $7.2 million. Tribal member health benefits for December were $343,000, bringing our total for the year to $710,000. Social services benefits in December were $133,000, bringing our total for the year to $477,000. And then education benefits in December were $121,000, bringing our total for the year to $194,000. And we received $400,000 distribution from our tribal enterprises. And then also in December ended the ARPA funding or application cycle, and also our children's Christmas application. So the totals for the ARPA were 5,120 checks sent out for a total of $7 million. And our children's Christmas checks, we mailed 957 checks totaling $47,850. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question for you, but I don't want to put you on the spot. But I'd like you to run a rough estimate on what an increase, say by 20% to our graduation incentive might be. And when we get to the higher education report, I may be calling you back.
Okay.
Okay. Just a heads up. Okay, good report. Thank you, Eric. Next up, subcommittee reports. I think we had a couple in the room. Yes, Miss Gracie. Away. Absolutely. We're going to get a mic to you. Just a second.
The Elders Committee met this last Thursday. And first off, we wanted to thank the Business Committee and Downstream for a wonderful dinner that we enjoyed. We had bison as the entree. We had the gathering. We had even a Grinch there. And we had a lovely gift for us when we left. So thank you from the elders. And also for the Christmas check, which came in handy before Christmas. At the meeting itself, we discussed a number of things, but 3 things came up in our discussion. One had to do with the housing. We're looking at quality of life for our elders, to make them comfortable, to make them safe. I know that housing was quite a large item on the town hall discussions, and we have a little input on that, including like making wider doors so walkers and wheelchairs can get through, and things like that, particularly for the new homes that are being discussed. And improvements. There are things that many people do want to stay in their own homes as long as they can. But there need to be perhaps some things that can be done. If, for instance, grab bars in the bathrooms. There are different things that will make life better for some of our elders. The other thing that got our attention was health. We all need good health, all ages, young through the older ones. And we are thankful for the Indian Health Service, which provides medical services for us. But the O-gah-pah, they have provided for us the CHR, who in addition to transporting people to appointments on the 3rd Wednesday of the month, where the elders gather for their lunch, there's also a time for information. At our discussion in the committee, we kind of wanted to think in terms of a health fair for elders. So that's up for further discussion. The other thing that we discussed and addressed was we want to do more with our youth. It's going to be intergenerational. And along with that, it was mentioned by a couple of people that we have noticed over the years the lack of respect. Now, respect comes in various forms, and we need to be mindful of that, and particularly with our young people. We need to respect one another, and that's That's just basic. This is something that many of us grew up with, and that needs to be maintained. It must, as a people. Personally, for all of us, we need to keep that in mind. Be respectful to one another, because we ask of that from the outside world too, to respect us as Native people and us doing better. So again, quality of life. We want to make life better for our elders. And again, there's just so much to be thankful for with the O-gah-pah here. We have our Title VI program. We have our trips, and we do various things. But there's more that we can do. So, again, we're available. We welcome your input as well, because many of you have people in your homes, and you know what the needs are, type of thing. So if we can help facilitate that in any way, we are very, very helpful. We will be helpful to you, and it's reciprocal. We can help you, you can help us. So we'll be coming to Business Committee as we formulate some of these plans on how we can work together, because it's working together. It's better really, and I learned this from personal experience with my family. You work with people, not for them. There's a difference, a big difference. And so with that in mind, we look forward to the new year, working with committees on how we can make improvement. So, Gunagay.
Gunagay, Gracie, thank you for those remarks, and also looking forward to good meetings in the days ahead to talk about some of the issues that you just spoke on. So thank you, Gunagay. Miss Linda? For the
Hello,
election committee.
everyone. It's with a heavy heart that I have to stand before you all again to announce that we have a second vacancy on the Business Committee. The Election Committee met most recently Wednesday night, January 18th, and we are currently corresponding with an attorney to determine our options, if you will, on how to hold that second special election due to the passing of Mr. Shawnee. Previously, we announced that the annual election is July 22nd, and then the first vacancy, that special election will be April 15th. So that's kind of where we're at, just bringing everyone up to date, and just have your patience and, as Ms. Gracie said, your willingness to work with us as we work through this process as well, because as you know, this is the first time this situation has ever been presented. But we do have obligations as the election committee based upon our voting and election ordinance that we have to adhere to. And if there's not any other questions, that's basically my report.
Okay, thank you for the information, Linda. Appreciate it.
Gunagay.
Okay, any other reports, committees? John?
Roman couldn't be here today, but he wanted me to give you all a friendly reminder that the special GC meeting is January 28th and possibly 29th if we can't get everything accomplished that day. And that we have also received legal feedback on the tabled motion, which is now up on the Quapaw Post as well as the tribal website. We encourage you all to look over the legal opinion and bring back any questions that you have to the special GC. We also received feedback regarding the Code of Ethics, but Roman hasn't advised on whether to put that up yet. So for now, we've kind of left that off, but I think that's it.
Okay. Any questions for John?
I did have one question for the Constitution Committee, and it pertains to, I believe it was either in last month's meeting, the question was raised about how best to get tribal member questions to the Constitution Committee. in order to hopefully expedite or make the activities on January the 28th much more smooth and efficient. Have there been any questions? And if so, I don't need to know the specifics, but I just want to know if questions have come in and if those questions have been addressed.
So we do have an email. It's constitution.committee@quapawnation.com. As far as I've seen, we have not received any questions, but I'm sure, based off of the last special GC, that there will be plenty. But yeah, that's, if anybody wants to reach out to us, it's constitution.committee@quapawnation.com.
One about a month ago and one about a week ago. A follow-up on the first one. I'm through.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, John. And to the rest of the Constitution Committee. Any other subcommittee reports? Okay. All right. We'll move on then to director's reports. First up, higher education, Ms. Krista Pierce.
I think I need a step stool. Good morning. My name is Krista Pierce. I'm the Director of Higher Education for Quapaw Nation. Just going to give you a recap of some things that we did in December, how spring funding's going, things we have going on, new things we have going on, and some stuff we'll be doing in the near future. So far, we have funded with CTGP funding, which we get $35,000 for spring every year. We've used all that and funded 14 students with that. And then with our traditional higher ed funding, we have so far funded over 100 students with that and at $214,000. So spring funding, the last day is February 28th. Summer funding will open May 1st and end December 31st. Fall funding for 2023 will open July 1st and end September 30th. Those dates never change. So we are also working with Quapaw Public Schools and their JOM program on a STEAM fair. So far we have about 30 entries, K through 12. We'll have 3 divisions, which is K through 6, 7th and 8th, and 9 through 12. With first, second, and third place in each category. All the projects will be on display on Monday, February 20th from 9 to 3 in the fitness center, and that's when the judging will be as well. And then on Thursday, February 23rd, all the participants will be attending the awards luncheon where we'll announce the winners, and then all the participants will get a certificate, and they'll each get to bring 2 people with them to the awards luncheon, and I think it's going to be a good time, and it's a great way to get STEM out there. And next year we will probably be expanding that to other school districts as well, so as well as maybe private schools and homeschools too. We also accept virtual projects for that, so we're hoping to go bigger and better next year. In addition, we have our annual graduation banquet coming up on June 10th this year. If you have a high schooler who's graduating this year, someone who's graduating with an associate's degree or post-secondary vocational or tech degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, or post-grad, anything above and beyond that, if they will email us at education@quapawnation.com, we will get them out a graduation packet. And what that contains is it contains the request for stoles and cords. Our high schoolers get a tricolor cord with the tribe's colors to wear at high school graduation. And then our college graduates, depending on their level, will get a stole to wear, and it has the O-Guah-Pah seal on it. For tech and associate's degrees, it's a white stole. For bachelor's, it's a red stole. For master's, it's a blue stole. And for post-grad students that are graduating, it's a purple stole. There'll be an application for what we call GIP, which is Graduation Incentive Program. Currently, this year I'll start at the top and go down. So for postgraduate students, it's $3,500 in a Pendleton blanket. For masters, it's $1,500, and this year we've added a native design throw. And then for bachelors, it's $500. I had to stop and think. And we've also added a gift. It used to be just a gift for the postgrad. So we've added something little on down the line. I believe it's a nice native design drawstring bag for the high schoolers, a nice mug for associates, and then I cannot remember. Oh, a throw of some sort for I believe bachelors and masters. So there's we're trying to add a little bit every year. Also in the packet will be information and RSVP directions for our graduation banquet. I'm going to tell you where to RSVP yes or no, so that we know who is coming and who isn't for all the packets we send out, because we keep a list. And then the deadline for RSVPing for the banquet is Saturday. What day is it? Got to think about this. May 13th. So, and those are all the things that are in the packet. And so you just have to send in and say, hey, we need a packet, and we just need a name and an address. And roll number is possible, because we put that all in our information just to sort of help track, our students. Beyond that, we started it this past year. Our education coordinator, Molly Drapeau, is in charge of she's education coordinator for the higher ed part, and she is also our coordinator for what we call now our new division called Quapaw Nation Workforce. And what she does is she goes out, and more people come in, and she's willing to help them if they need to build or update their resume, do mock interviews, help them with interview skills, things like workplace communication, all sorts of things. And this isn't just for people just looking for a job, as maybe people who want to move up where they are, or cross over to a different department. And she'll travel within 100 miles of the tribe, or talk with you on the phone or virtually, or you can come in. So that's something we've been doing, and that's been going really well. And along with that, we are just about ready to launch our new paid internship program. And this isn't just for college students. What we did is we did a survey of departments and asked if any of them would be interested in internships. And those that said yes, we asked what they were looking for, and we built out basically internship profiles, got approval, and so then we researched appropriate wage ranges for each of those, sent it to HR to make sure those were appropriate, and got everything done. So now we're to the point where we're putting those actual internship positions in the job descriptions template, and I should have those ready to go by Monday. Our departments are courts and the fitness center and TIPO. Now, TIPO is one that requires someone with a GIS or Geographical Information Systems knowledge. So that might be something that is actually for a college intern, but the rest of them are pretty open. If you want to get your foot in the door, or find out what a department's like. The lengths of each internship vary from department to department, as does the pay depending on what the position is. So, but we like to keep it fluid. So if a director has an intern they really like and they gel well then instead of having to switch interns, they can keep that intern longer. It's up to them. So we have, like I said, we have courts, we have TIPA, we have the fitness center, we have Title VI. What else do we have? I think we have one more under there. I'm forgetting. But those will all be posted, and anyone can apply for them. You'll just fill out the general application through HR online, and when you put what you're applying for, you can put internship or internships, and which specific ones you want to apply for. So in addition to that, Molly will be doing onboarding with all the interns that come in. So they'll be paid for a week to come in, and Molly will start with a history of the tribe and then taking them on a tour of all the facilities so they sort of get a good idea of, just what the tribe is as far as entities and businesses and departments. And then she'll also work with them on professionalism, getting the most out of their internship. And then each intern is required to do a project within their department, working with their director or supervisor that they'll present to the director, to me and Molly, and to the BC at the end of their internship. So we're hoping that, people will learn more about the tribe, and it gives, students and adults the opportunity to maybe make some money. And these internships go throughout the year, so it's not just a summer, so they'll be very, environmentals are other one that we have too. So if those, like I said, should be up by the end of next week, and you have any questions, you can just email us at education@quapawnation.com. We're happy to answer them. Upcoming events and activities. Molly will be attending career and tech fairs in February and March. In February, I'll be going to Mustang for a tribal consultation with several districts at one time. And then I'll be attending an ACT webinar and virtual summit. Later this year, we have some other things going on. We have a budgeting and finance series. It'll be 3 evenings, which will be Wednesday, March 22nd, 29th, and April 5th. And it's just budgeting and finance 101. I did it 1 year over at Peoria Housing. And it's just, learning how to budget. A lot of people, but it's not just, this is how you write a budget. We discuss, what's your personal relationship with money? How do you spend money? How does your significant other spend money? What attitude were you raised with about money? And, what do you do if there's an emergency? Do you have a backup plan? If you're incapacitated, who's going to take care of all your bills? Things that sometimes people don't think about or, are really important. So we'll be doing that. Location and times will be announced later. Also, in August, we'll have financial aid information workshops. That'll be a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll have the actual dates and times later on in the year. And then tentatively, Molly came up with an idea for a picnic for Quapaw Nation higher education alumni. We're hoping sometime in September. We're sort of not sure on that yet, but more details on that to come as well. So that's sort of where we're at. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. We do. It's just, I believe it's Quapaw Nation Higher Education. Yeah. So, and I know Communications is getting ready to revamp our website pages because they're super out of date. I know. So, sorry about that. But we do. Yeah, we do post our events. Yeah, we have Instagram, we have Facebook. Molly does Instagram, and I do the Facebook. And we do post our events, and we also post scholarship opportunities outside of the tribe as they come our way. So, surprisingly, not very many people get on Facebook because we don't seem to get very many responses. Yeah, well, I am not comfortable with going to TikTok with the department. So, it's not advisable. So, any other questions? Okay, if you guys have any you have any other questions, or if you know someone who, has some questions, just let us know, and we're happy to help.
Thank you, Krista, for that report. That's a lot of good, useful information. Sound like some really exciting programming here in the months to come. So a lot of hard work there. I know it takes a lot to plan those things out. So just want to say thank you, and thanks to Molly for all your hard work. Appreciate it. Thank you. Next up, Miss Sherry from the Fitness Center.
You just want to see me dance. No, just kidding. My name is Sherry Nida. I'm the director at the Quapaw Nation Fitness Center. I've been there since day one, so I know from ground level up, the last survivor of there. But yes, our motto is getting fit and having fun. Life is too serious. We've went through pandemics and everything else. So excuse me if I'm a little on the fun side. So here we go, and I'll make it quick. So my employees include myself. I teach group classes. Right now we're revamping. I do Tai Chi, and we do classes. We do quite a bit for the elders in the mornings. I have learned that we do them not earlier than 8 or 9, but right before Title VI opens. So that way they can exercise, eat, and take a nap. So we're set there. There we go. There we go. I do have a new fitness coordinator. His name is Derek Dickey. If you see my Facebook page, we're all flexing, and he's got more of the muscles than the rest of us. And then I've got my front desk attendant, Steve Owens. He's the second longest that's been with me. I just can't keep up. No, I'm just kidding. I also help with the ITC program, which is the Intertribal Council. It helps college students come in to learn about fitness, learning about business. And I have 2 young ladies, and their names are Jenna Curley and Hannah Hardcastle. Jenna's been with me since July, and Hannah started back in September when school started. Give you an idea, we have 1,575 members. No, they're not here every day. The percentage is about 53% are tribal employees, Title VI. Those are pretty much my discounted to free memberships. We are community service. When I was hired, I looked at Eric and said, am I supposed to make money? Because our rates are really economical, and over the past years, we haven't yet increased ours. So I can tell you, we're the cheapest around. So we're about 43% of the tribal, and we are 47% of family, singles, students, and like the senior families and the open enrollment. In other words, they're non-tribal participants. I just started back this fall with a gentleman, Robbie Gant, and he has a Goju-Ryu karate. If you've ever seen Karate Kid or Cobra Kai on Netflix, that's what he does, the wax on, wax off, that style. That's how I can kind of relate to it. But he rents out the rooms on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And if you're interested, I do have flyers, not with me, but come by and see me. We are working on spring classes coming up. I just got to get my butt in gear and get going again. We also have started a Renew Active program through Medicare and Medicaid. I've got 7 participants in that. So most of us that are tribal members were free. So we really don't have to worry about it. But to get our outside people in, especially our elders, we're working. It's almost like another like Silver Sneakers, but it's another program. There's like 4 of them out there. Just to help out to get people through the door, because the hardest part is getting through the door to even exercise, and I'll take care of the rest. We do a scavenger hunt, which we hide a little symbol around each month, and everybody each week we change it around, and it makes it fun for us, and it makes us, you know, everybody that comes and works out, their family. I mean, we treat them as family. You know, if you want to talk, we'll talk to you. You know, if you want to work out, we'll help you with the plan and go on. But we also, yesterday, I just did a 13-hour day yesterday. We had our sign up, but some of you was supposed to show up. But as our weight loss fit challenge, we do it we always do it the third Friday of the month, because there is always this, well, everybody does New Year's resolutions, but by the time 2 weeks is out, survey says we're already done with our resolutions. So this helps you guys be accountable to stay fit. So I counted this morning, we have 40 participants. We have 24 women and 16 men. So we separate because men can lose weight a lot faster than women. Hormones. Let me preach it. So that is going to go on from yesterday till March 3rd. And Barry has come up with this cool shirt for us, so you'll at least get a free shirt for participating. So we started that. Just to give you an idea, springtime is our best time because everybody's got those New Year's resolutions. And then by the time, then our membership drops off in the summer because everybody wants to be outside, and I don't blame them. But just to kind of give you an idea, in 2 weeks, being from January 1st, we've had 36 new people sign up. 26 new people and 36 renewals. So that gives just 2 weeks in. So that is our work in a nutshell. Does anybody have any questions? I do. Yes. Yeah, because I noticed you just joined. Yes. Go girl. No. See, even though I work the early morning shift, I know what goes on at night.
Do you guys have like Zumba for those of us that work, you know, 9 to 5,
9 to 5.
whatever? So are there Zumba classes or yoga classes or anything like that in the evening? Because when I've come recently, there's been nobody
Right.
there.
No, not right now. I've went through 2 yoga instructors and 3 Zumba instructors. But let me tell you, when the pandemic hit, it changed the whole thing trying to find people to come in. But this is what I do. Right. But this is what we do. I don't know if you in the exercise room we have a DVD player, and I mean a lot of time it is accountability. It does. You have to have accountability to. You know, some people are strong enough where they're able to do it on their own. They want to be by themselves, and then us women, we like to do group settings. But I do have a DVD. I have like 5 or 6 different kind of Zumbas. I have yoga DVDs, and our TV in there is a smart TV. So we YouTube. People want to try something different before. It's almost, you know, a lot of times before you go to a Zumba class, you want to learn about it first, and that we can get you set up on that. And we can get Steve-O back there and Zumba with you.
CDs or DVDs at home for that too, but I don't want to sit and watch it. That's not me, because not saying that I would. If Julia and I were going, then you know what I mean.
Right.
It's more personal. There's
Well,
more motivation.
it's having fun. Yes.
There's more motivation with somebody as opposed to
Get her in there. There you go. But it is hard, and they are expensive. I mean, I've had some that wanted to pay they wanted to be paid $30 a class. So if I get 4 or 5 in, how much am I going to, and especially if you're free, where's that come from? So, but yeah.
$5
Yeah.
Zumba class.
Yep. But we are looking into, but if, I don't know if you've noticed it is very hard to find instructors. Yes, yeah. Especially, well, and the hard part is we're more out of town. And that was my biggest complaint. I couldn't get enough in. Couldn't keep it. My last Zoom instructor did a noon class, and then she did 2 evening classes. So she would come 4 times a week, and we couldn't get people in the evening time, because a lot of times, if you notice, our evening time is more families. They're playing basketball or other things. So yeah. Like I said, the hardest part is getting through those doors. So yeah. Is there any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
we mentioned engagement with elders,
Mhm.
and if there are any elders in elder housing that, for whatever reason, maybe they can't or they just don't want to come to the fit, is there any way for like a instructor to go to them for like a at home, or does that like increase liability? Are there issues there? Have you thought about that at all?
Haven't thought about that. Just because we don't, a lot of times that almost sounds like you need to be probably a PT, um, more a licensed person to do that.
Okay.
We're more of like a gym um, type setting where, and we do have things for those that have mobility issues. In fact, yesterday I just got another enrollment of a lady that she's got a child that's in a wheelchair, and we're able to, we've got seated ellipticals, and we've got a cable system that you can roll that wheelchair up and do arms and everything else. So we do have the capability, but we don't have that PT, a certified, it would be more like a, not a personal trainer type, but because a lot of times you'd have to use our equipment, they'd have to take it. But I'll look into it, you know. But heck, I've got some of them that wheel over
Yeah.
just to hang out.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll look into that.
Yeah, Jamie. Yeah.
And that may be something with the CHR.
That's what I was thinking. Does
That's more
like
of a,
like
they're a
does
home
an elder
base. Mhm.
can an elder who wants to work out and have exercise time, can the CHR come to them and transport them to the fit?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Does
for
that
sure.
happen?
No.
Okay.
No, but that's, I mean, it's probably hadn't had that addressed
Okay.
either.
We'll look
So,
into it.
But yeah, I mean, even the neat thing is you don't even have to have equipment. If you had bands, just exercise, especially for the elders, it's just movement, and balance.
Okay.
So, yep. Anything else? All right.
Good report.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Next up, Miss Melissa with the tag department.
My report's going to be really slow, or not slow, but short. So the total revenue for the month of December was $7,668. There were 33 new vehicles registered and 125 renewals. And those are due at the end of the month, every month. But yeah. We have started giving the 3-in-1 car seats for infants. So if you also don't have to have a child already, if you're pregnant, you can order your car seat ahead of time. You just have to provide proof of pregnancy, like a copy of your ultrasound or something from your doctor. And my name is Melissa Morris, by the way. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a comment. I'm going to commend you and your department during this time since the Great Flood, and everyone else that's been in that. We're calling it the call center, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody that's come together during that time has been tremendous, but I've noticed specifically having to, you get a lot of traffic to you, and you're right there as you come in and responsive, and it looks like kind of a bomb went off around that. But you have your own system of organization, and you've managed to um, meet that challenge and really do well in that environment. So I just want to say thank you. I know it has not been easy.
Honestly, all of the employees over there are doing really good. I feel like working together, and I feel like everybody has helped. And I know we've been just trying to help everybody out. So, but I do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been good. Thank you. Good report. Next up, Quapaw Cattle Company and Food Services, Mr. Mitch Albright.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, not a lot going on in the crop world right now. 114 crops are in. All we have in right now is winter wheat, the soft wheat, about 800 acres or so. Along with 114, what I've been working on lately is within our CS Environmental Quality Incentives Program. So the new property that was acquired out by the Lao, we call it the Compton, which we need someone that can name properties because I can't stand to call it that. I've been calling it the Iron River. I don't know if you guys have watched The Ranch or not with Sam Elliott and Ashton Kutcher. That's what I've been calling it. But, it's got some erosion. That's the Yellowstone. No, it's different. That's the feed yard. That's where the train station goes through. But the Delta, that's not bad. It's not bad. It's quick. I'm going to the Delta.
Sounds cool too.
You want to go with me to the Delta? So. But it's got some erosion problems. The river right there, there's beaver problems, taking all the trees along the river. So NRCS, Tribal Liaison Cody Parker with the Strike Force Initiative is helping me do an erosion control band of trees. Hopefully by the first of summer we can have some trees planted out there and save some of that ground before we lose it to the river. It's a floodplain, so I don't know how well it's going to work. About half of that property when it floods is underwater. So we'll see what we can get done though and save what we can.
Is that property that we just purchased, or is it property that we had?
It was bought last year. Is that right?
Might be property in a floodplain.
It attaches to a current existing property that we have. So it's about 540 contiguous acres. It's the largest piece of property the cattle company operates now.
But when it floods and it's underwater, it's no use to us.
No, until it recedes, right? So there's perks to flooding. If we plant trees is what we're planting, not crops. It's not a crop property, it's a cattle property. It's a grass property. So we're wanting to plant the trees to save the erosion. That's the problem is when it does flood, the beavers are taking the trees and we're losing trees. So we want to save that property as best we can. So it's a free program within our CS. It won't be no cost to us. So we just want to save it when it does flood.
We get paid to plant those trees, right?
It is. We don't get paid to do it. It's not a cost share either. It's just they pay for it.
Okay.
And we implement it. So it's not a paid program. It's really just they're funding it. We're just providing the site. So it's at no cost to us. Yeah. So cow-calfing right across the street. You can see our calves, our yearling calves. Those are all our steers and heifers that will be going through our meat program. So there's probably first of next month we will be moving the steers off the Hart Place over to the feed yard, and they'll be started on the meat program. Hopefully by fall, those animals will be starting processing. So along with some of the heifers, we will go through the heifers next month as well for replacements and replacements for culls. 117 is kind of is our buffalo cow-calf operation. So all of the herd work's done there. If you guys ever want to see those white buffalo calves, they're up front by the greenhouses. You can see them along the road there. That's our weaning pen. There's 4 of them up there. They're doing well. The herd development grant will be finished up next week. I'll close that grant out. And the grant period for the following, that was fiscal year 2021. I'm 2 years behind, or they're 2 years behind. But so we'll be signing up for fiscal year 2022 grant funding next week. My plans for that one, and if you guys want to talk about it, that's fine too, but is to purchase a mobile silencer chute or the like. That will make us completely mobile. We can go to any site, any farm, anywhere, and do everything we need to do. We don't have to haul nothing. Good luck. Hope it goes well. So, if we want to discuss that, that's great too. It's whatever you guys want to do. I don't know what the funding amount's going to be yet this year. We added, I think, 3 or 4 new tribes to ITBC. So we did hold back in November the 40th annual ITBC annual meeting at Downstream. It was a good meeting. It was great. They loved it. So it was really good to have them here. So I think next year, I don't think they've set a location yet for the ITBC meeting, but so. Yeah.
They've mentioned bringing it back
Back
here.
Really?
Yeah.
Bring them on. It was cool.
They really enjoyed it out here, and hospitality was top notch, and enjoyed the tours and everything that we had to offer to them. And they're thinking about having it back out here next year.
Good. So glad to have them. We have 8 buffalo bulls that we'll be processing next month. With that, they're going to be large bison bulls, 12, 13, 1,400 pounds. We're going to need to do something with the heads and hides off of those. So in the past, it's always been first come, first serve for whoever wants to grab a skull and tan a hide. They're going to be green. They're going to be heavy. We can help you load them if anybody wants them. Not with me, there's not. Yet.
Because that's quite a, I mean,
it's a massive feat.
Project to take on.
Yeah. You're looking at 20, 25 square feet of hide that's going to weigh 300 pounds. So it's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah, I know.
So, but yeah, I can get you the hide though. So, and as of right now, we have no plans to implement tanning that I know of, unless they're working on something. So
I know. I could. If I do birds, way different, Julia. Birds are fun to queue. Just like we would have to scrape the meat off of the feathers. Wait. Give her one. I want to watch her do it.
I'll hook you up.
And I'll take pictures and put them on TikTok.
Yeah. They're going to be full winter hides, and that's why we want to process them before winter's up. They're going to be full. They're green.
Any other things to add on your
Back
report?
to the feed yard. I'm still.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brenda.
Like a European or like a shoulder mount? Just like a head or a shoulder mount? Because we have some actually at the cattle. I think we still have 2 or 3. That's just sitting in storage right now.
What? Where exactly?
Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
So you said that you have a couple over there. So could you put them on both sides of that fireplace?
Yeah.
you seen those heads?
Yeah, they need to be looked at. Make sure it's going to be what you guys want.
I think we could do something more pronounced.
Sure.
With a couple of those, and yeah, we'll take a look at it. We got some discussions to have.
Sure. You bet. Just to wrap up, the feed yard's going strong. We're sitting at about 2,000 head over there, yearlings over at the yard. We finally finished our pens since inception. They're complete and animals on them, and so we're working with the processing facility. Tim Fraser with Southwest Bison, Oklahoma Panhandle. We're running a test run next week for the plant to lay over a load of buffalo at the yard and a run through processing. And the way I understand it right now, it's just a test run to make sure the plant can handle the volume and the speed at which they want it done. It's just primals, no small cuts, and subprimals, I believe, just to get them in and out. If that works, and Tim Fraser is kind of like the Steve Irwin of buffalo. He knows everything about them, and that's just all he knows. He knows buffalo. He's really good at it. He's actually the fellow I've been working with for our biosecurity protocols for both our beef and buffalo. He's really sharp. He's kind of a worm guru. He kind of gets like you're talking to a doctor sometimes, so I kind of shut him down. I was like, man, whoa. He's really good, and so if this works, it's going to be a pot load of buffalo a week running through the yard and the processing facility. So it's going to be a large volume of animals if it pans out. So that'll start. They're going to come in at 4 o'clock Monday morning or Monday afternoon. I'm sorry, and we'll see where that goes. So.
How many head in the test run?
15. Yeah.
How many head in our 117?
68 cows.
Okay.
There's 20-some bulls. So in Galena, Kansas, we have 25 head up there. So we're looking at probably, in the past, we've always marketed our heifers on the hoof. It's not a good plan. I don't like to do it. They bring beef prices on the hoof. It's a lot better to go ahead and process them. Gotcha. So we'll have to separate because we run our yearlings together, heifers and bulls. We're going to need to separate them. So we need to branch out. So I might be taking a piece of a leased property. It's Dixie Ram's place, and running some heifers up there, some buffalo heifers, just to separate our animals. But I think the best option is to go ahead and run them through the meat program, especially if distributions are what we're working towards. So.
Yeah. Okay.
And last but not least is FACT, Food Animal Concerns Trust. I sit on the review board, and if anybody, doesn't have to be a tribe member, it can be anybody that owns and operates or works with animals, there's up to a $2,500 grant that you can use for anything you want. That grant period, I think, is ending this week. It may have already ended, but I'll start reviewing my portion of those grants next week or the following week, first week of February.
Any kind of animal?
If you have animals and you raise for production, eggs, poultry, hogs, beef, horses, whatever, it's just a grant to help you, and in being native, you get an extra 3 points. So it's a super cool grant. I've sat on the board for 2 years now. I think they have $280,000 to give out, 100 grants. So
that's pretty good considering the price of eggs just went up.
I know, it's sitting on gold now. I will, yeah. So I'll get with Jose or somebody and make sure the next round is available, or more people know about it. So.
Awesome. All right. Good report. Thank you, Mitch.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is new business, resolutions. Would somebody mind taking that?
Okay, Resolution 012123A. That's to record the decisions and the commencement of the 20 homes on the Ray property. So the decision was it's to build to the 30 home infrastructure, but to actually build the 20 homes. So hopefully that's clear.
Okay, I'll entertain entertain a motion. We have a motion to approve, followed by a second. Any discussion? No discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries and the resolution is approved. Next up, I'll go ahead and take this since I have the mic. 012123B, a resolution enacting the Quapaw Nation Criminal Code. And I'll entertain a motion to approve this. We have a motion followed by a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries and the resolution is approved. Dropping down out of new business into donations. First one we have Braden Racing. Do we have somebody here who is presenting for Braden Racing? Okay. I'll go ahead and read the amount request is $15,000 to $20,000, which pays for I'm assuming race entries, as well as tires, fuel, and parts. I'm having a hard time reading this penmanship. Kart racing. Okay. And basically the sponsorship would cover the fees, the tires, and then would be recognized with stickers and a wrap trailer, and be a custom paint job, I guess. Custom suite. Do a custom suite. Okay, so anybody from the business committee have any suggestions on what they'd like to do? I've heard that our casino sponsored something like this in the past. Okay. I think we should go ahead and I'll entertain a motion to table this. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries and the request is tabled. Next up, we have Mr. Sean Ellick. Sean, if you could please. If we could have your attention. If I could have your attention. There it is.
Good morning. My name is Sean Ellick. I come for you today to ask for a donation. We're having I'll just go back for a second. On December 5th, my little granddaughter, she turned 3 years old. We found out that day that she is cancer-free from her neuroblastoma. So we're having a celebration of life gourd dance for her on February 11th over here at the Ottawa Peoria building. And I'm asking for a donation of $600 to help cover for the dinner we're going to provide and drinks and so on and so forth for everybody that's going to be there, and to kind of help pay our head staff that we have asked to come up and help out with this dance. And that's, just want to invite everybody there, but that's what I came here this morning for.
Do we have any questions for Sean at this time? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve for 600.
We have a motion as well as a second. Any discussion? Michelle. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries and the request is approved. While I have you up here, can you go through the date and the time frame again?
Yes, it'll be on February 11th at the Ottawa Peoria building. Dance will start, gourd dance 2 to 5, supper break from 5 to 6, and then we'll end at 6 to 8. I'll be the head singer for it. Joey Gibbswater is going to be your head gourd dancer. Dude Blaylock's going to be your AD, and John Arcakita will be the MC for the afternoon. So, like I said, I invite you all to come. Anybody knows any, can put the invite out to other gourd clans if they want to show up too. It'd be, like I said, it's just a little celebration of life for her, but we're also going to acknowledge Miley and Jaylee at this too, because it's three little survivors that have beat this disease. So
that's good.
That's what we got planned.
Are you sure that Otto John Ark's going to be able to handle it over here?
I think he'll be all right.
Okay.
he handled the first one pretty good. So
okay.
He'll be all right.
Good deal. Good deal. No, it sounds like a good one. Thank you, Sean, and it's good news. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Welch Public School after prom. Contact Laura Hawes. This is typically the amount requested is $1,000, and this is in line with what's usually requested. This is to assist with the school to help pay for activities and provide prizes for the evening. And I think the intent there is so people can, youth can have a good, safe environment, drug-free, alcohol-free, and have a good time. Have a motion to approve the donation. We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries and the donation request is approved. Dropping into open forum. I'd like to start with the folks that have passed on. As has been reported to us in the last month. First up is Linda Tammer, Peggy Sandra Parnell, Linda Forsyth, and Mr. Mike Shawnee. And before we go into a moment of silence, I'd like to make a couple remarks on Mike. And that Mike had a profound impact on the business committee, and his loss has been equally profound to us. And it's something I think we've all witnessed and felt, and noticed that it's also in the community as well, as he was wore many hats and he was a lot of things to a lot of people, different tribes, those intertribal relations. And just want to say I'm going to miss him. So bear with me, please. Gonna gay. As we move into open forum, it's been requested of me by several of our members as well as our tribal citizens to provide a voice in this forum, but to keep and maintain a level of respect and decorum during this time. And as part of that, whenever I was first elected, you know, wanted to change the makeup of what open forum was and to be able to provide a better voice for everyone. And that occurred. And it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been without its challenges and drama and aggression. But, you know, tried to keep it open for all of the good that can come from those discussions within open forum as well. Maybe an idea gets presented. Maybe somebody has something good to say about somebody. And as of late, I feel like it's, along with the rest of our business committee, feel like it's kind of turned into a live action of everything Quapaw playing out before our eyes. And, you know, although I feel and we feel like good discourse is always wanted and needed within our governmental process, we've moving in a direction where we want to set parameters for this open forum, and I'll read them now as a housekeeping. All participants must speak into the microphone. All members are limited to 5 minutes. All members may only take the mic once. All comments and questions should be only limited to business matter and specifically should only be related to items for today's agenda. Any member in violation of these parameters will be warned, and if they continue, will be asked to leave this forum. And as this is a Quapaw Business Committee meeting, there's a certain level of decorum and professionalism that we must follow. And as Gracie mentioned earlier, we need to be respectful of each other. So with that, I'll open it up for open forum.
At this time, I would like to call for a voice vote, and I would like to ask for the nation to cover expenses for a response letter to Joseph's letter that was recently placed in the Quapaw Post, in the January Quapaw Post. So I would like to have a voice vote from everybody to cover those expenses for me, and I will be abstaining. Thank you.
I'm going to say that's an improper motion. I'm going to say that's an improper motion. Okay. Anybody else?
I'm Brenda Murray. I think I know most of you here, but I haven't been around the last few months, but I heard there's petitions going around, and they only require 100 signatures. Those were old resolutions, and our tribe is so much larger now, more population. I don't think 100 on a petition represents the population.
Brenda, I'm going to have to call point of order on you. This does not pertain to the agenda and the items up for business discussion today.
Okay, can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I thought this meeting today has been very good with respect to everybody, and I wish we could keep this up. We've got 2 missing on the BC that we need to have replaced, and it's just, we need to take care of what we have now.
Thank you, Brenda.
My name is Willie Panther, and my roll number is 1161 of the Quapaw Nation. I've been trying to get my driveway fixed over here where I can get up on it with my scooter chair. It's got a lip on there that won't let me get my wheels over it. I've been at this for 2 years. Last Sunday I was living over here 2 years, January 8th. I don't know how many times I brought it up to housing authority, and then Thursday they tell me I got to put in a work order. So the next day, the next morning, I called Jackie Stone at the housing authority and asked her to put in a expedited work order to the business committee for my driveway to be repaired. I've been there 2 years. My sister fixed 2 ramps for me. One was with the grate. She didn't like that. She said she took pictures of it. And then the grate fell down. So then my grandson, he put one in that was cement where wide enough for my scooter chair to get me up there, up the ramp. How long do I got to wait to get my driveway fixed as a disabled citizen of the United Quapaw Nation?
So, Willie, I have it on good information that we're taking care of your driveway next week, and work will commence next week on that. And my sincerest apologies for you having to wait for 2 years for that to happen.
Why does it take 2 years to get a driveway fixed for a disabled person? If I wasn't a Quapaw Nation member, I'm still following the Americans with Disabilities Act. They got rules and regulations for all kinds of things for people who are disabled.
Yeah, we're going to take care of that for you. Quapaw Nation's going to take care of that for you.
That's what I was told yesterday by Steva.
Yeah, next week it'll commence.
Okay, well, I expect to see you all again the next meeting. That's all I got to say.
All right.
Have
Thank
a
you.
good day. Enjoy the day and be safe.
Thank you, Willie.
My name is Virginia Mouse, for those of you that don't know. I just have to say, changing open forum to discuss members that discuss the agenda that you, the BC, create, therefore is nullifying the voice of the general counsel who you answer to. I do not feel that that is fair. I do not feel that that is just.
I would respond with your comment by saying we are available throughout the week, Monday through Friday.
Well, that requires a return phone call.
Are you, I'll return your phone call. You just got to call me. Okay. 918-325-9468. Joseph.bird@quapawnation.com.
So therefore, so then we need to have an individual conversation with each and every one of you. We don't have the opportunity to discuss or air our issues here because it's not on your agenda. Again, I don't feel that that is just. And I'll call you, absolutely, I don't have a problem with that. But to make currently 5 different phone calls, 5 different opinions without getting a collective opinion, that's not fair to the 5 of you either, though.
Yeah, we're going to give you a collective opinion when we meet collectively as a BC once you arrange that meeting. We'll be happy to meet with you. And there's discussions being had about a town hall forum as well, where conversations like that can be discussed, and airing whatever you need to air out can be discussed there in that forum. Look for that to happen pretty soon.
Hi, my name's Emmy Kavistad, and I want to meet with all 5 of you about downstream.
Okay.
And I want it done like yesterday. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Amy. We'll get you on the schedule.
G'day. My name is Grace Goodeagle. Here I am again. But I did want to mention a couple of things. One, of course, is the end of the month on the 28th. We will be having another of our special General Council meetings to discuss the governing resolution, which will ultimately lead towards our Constitution. On that same day, the Quapaw Nation is having its winter gathering, and Solomon is going to be head gourd dancer. And so my other question or asking, is there an update on what's happening with the flooding situation down there at the admin building?
Anybody want to take that? Yeah, Steva? Steva or Eric?
So the flood at the admin building happened right before Christmas. When we returned from our Christmas holiday, we cleaned everything out of the admin building, threw away stuff that was water soaked. We had a remediation company come in, cut out all the drywall that was absorbing moisture. That has been completed. We had it mold tested this past week. We will have those results shortly. The gentleman was pretty confident that we are good to go, but we're going to wait for those results. Insurance adjuster came out 2 weeks ago. The contractor that's going to be completing the remodel was here last Thursday, not this past Thursday, but the Thursday before. He expects to be there January 30th or the week of January 30th to begin, and he said it will take 4 to 6 weeks to complete that that process. So we're looking probably the beginning of March until we are able to move back in to that space. So currently, as most of you know, we're set up in the call center or the community building, and we are working through that process. Things are going well as of now. We'll see at the end of February how we're doing. So, but we are able to provide the services that were provided in that administrative building, out of the community building. And if we need to go to a private space, we've got a space blocked off in the community building that we can go behind some partitions and talk privately. So yeah, if anybody has any questions or issues, feel free to call the number. We'll take care of those questions for you.
And just to add comment to that, this was obviously an unforeseen incident or occurrence. It wasn't for lack of preventative. This I was talking to several area chiefs at Intertribal Council. I think Eastern Shawnee had their admin building also experience a water leak, a pipe burst, and the bear skin for Wyandotte also. So several admin buildings kind of succumbed to the weather, the cold harshness of it over the break. So, but like as alluded to earlier, everybody's done a really great job of stepping up and coming together during this time to continue our programs and services. So, thank you.
With that being said, in regard to the flood and just looking at it from a disaster, so to speak, has the tribe put forth any thoughts to developing a continuity of operations plan, whether it be a man-made disaster, natural disaster?
I think we already have an emergency risk management plan in place that's reviewed and approved every year. And I don't necessarily know the degree to which it covers what occurred up there. That's something I'd have to look into if anybody else can provide color.
Thank you.
But we can look into it, yeah. Thank you, Linda.
Out of curiosity, seeing how we're trying to have some foresight and kind of think of things that are ahead of us with the remodel of the admin building, has it been thought of about how to create new offices? I know that there was a lot of ideas being bounced around about creating new office space and for the potential growth. Also, possibly the BC being housed at the admin building. Has there been much discussion on the remodel of admin, and would we be notified about what that would possibly look like?
Yeah, a good question on the remodel. Again, Eric, you got the most up to date on that. We toured it, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's probably been about 2 weeks. So yes, there has been discussions on, how to renovate and what that looks like. And so, as most of you guys know, I didn't know because I've only been here 10 years and it happened before me. But when that building was built in '96, there were walls added after that initial build. When they pulled out all the flooring and whatnot, it was pretty obvious which walls were added. So, in the discussions with, administrative people, with the business committee, it's been decided to remove those walls that were put up after the original build, open up the workspaces or the work areas, and then we're going to create workspaces with partition panels that are, gives us that flexibility as we grow and as things change, as the needs change, we can flex that space a lot easier than putting up a permanent wall. So, basically the only walls that are staying are the supporting walls. And then, the space will be, figured out as to who's going where as we move back in and setting up partition walls, temporary partition walls as a way to divide up that workspace. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. Daniel.
Hello, I'm Daniel Washington. I was just want to talk with y'all after this meeting and stuff, and just get that on record. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anybody on Zoom? Okay. Yes, we can hear you. I'll take those in the order you asked them. The entire business committee met and, yes, decided upon that. I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday. So there's a consensus there from the BC. And then in terms of getting an item placed on the agenda, you can contact us directly, or you can contact our BC Executive Secretary, and that person for now acting in that position is Steva Stand. So if you reach out to her, we can address whatever business item you may have.
One more just point of information. Even at school board meetings, you do have to address issues pertaining to the agenda, but they allow other issues to be presented, but they do not, or are not, the board is not required to respond to those issues. So I would suggest maybe you add a rule that something to that effect. You may present an issue, but the board or the business committee is not required to address that issue at the current meeting. Did you follow what I'm trying to say?
Yes, we'll take that under advisement. Thank you for that suggestion.
I think that's it. Thank you for listening. And thank you for everything you guys do.
Thank you. Tyler, anybody else? Okay. Well, if nobody has anything in the Zoom, and if nobody has anything any further here, that's right. Decorum. And with that, we're going to go into benediction. And Solomon, could I ask you to say the prayer for us? Amen. Thank you, Solomon. Entertain a motion to adjourn. We have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you.